As a church leader, one of the things I'm doing frequently is preparing for weekly worship, the order of service, whatever you might call it. And probably again, like most church leaders, what I'm wanting to do is match the theme of the service to the theme of the message, the sermon that I'm preaching that week. And Logos Bible Software has handy tools to help us prepare for worship as well as to prepare sermons. And there's something that I've been using it for quite a long time. I want to find a particular psalm with a certain theme that matches what I'm preaching on. What I used to have to do is open up a search panel and type in a particular phrase and search the Psalms that way. That was a little bit cumbersome and time consuming, particularly with something like joy, because there's so many references to that word joy in Psalms. So it would take me a little bit of time to find the right one under the old way of doing it. But a few years back now, Logos gave us a whole bunch of brilliant interactive media tools, one of which is this Psalms Explorer. A number of ways to access it. You go into the tools menu, scroll down, find Psalms Explorer. You can then pin that to the top, or you can make a toolbar shortcut. I do that because then that appears up there, and I use it so frequently, it's just so handy to have. And then what I'll do is open it in a floating window. It's best to open this in a full screen window because you get this beautiful looking bubble graphic where you've got all 150 Psalms in front of you, and here they are ordered by their genres. You can order them in different ways. You can have them just simply as a list. You can do it by according to their structure, by their author. If you know that a particular psalm that you're looking for is by the Korahites, well, there you go, you can find them here, and by book as well, all 5 books of the Bible. But 5 books of the Psalms. I order them according to genre, because I find that most helpful. What I use almost all the time is this left-hand column, and particularly this section, themes. What I do is I order these by A to Z, by the alphabet, A to Z, if you're in a different place. And then you scroll down to this themes, click on more, and if I'm looking for that same theme of joy in the Psalms, then I'll just find joy in that list. And here I can see that there are 49 Psalms tagged with the theme of joy. Clicking on that, what happens is all the Psalms that aren't tagged with the theme of joy disappear, which makes it a little bit easier to see things. And they're still organized according to their genres, which again is helpful, because sometimes I want a psalm that is joyful, or that has the theme of joy within it, and that might be with a particular theme of praise in mind. Sometimes, of course, it might be more appropriate to have the theme of joy, but in a sense of lamenting and so on. So that's quite handy to see. And then what I'll be doing here is first of all, just exploring the information that appears in these little pop-up boxes, just to see what the heading of that particular psalm is, and trying to discern what might be the right thing. And then eventually I'll just click on one and start reading it and trying to find if that's the right thing that I want to include in the service this week. Something to read at the start or throughout the service to kind of shape how we worship God and set our minds and our hearts upon who God is and His character, His actions. And this would be a really good one to use. Praise the Lord, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good, His love endures forever. Who can proclaim the mighty acts, and so on. I can see that being a really useful start to a service, and even for looking further down, something that might shape a prayer of confession. We've sinned even as our ancestors did, and so on. That would be quite helpful. And yet we've got salvation here. He saved them from the hand of the foe. So it's all here, and you might have to do a bit of sifting, but that's quite handy. But I might decide, actually, that's not right for what I need. So I'll go back and start looking around and find something else. And oh well, this is pretty good. So I will select. You can't select and copy and paste within this tool. So what you have to do is click on the psalm title, and that will open up your preferred Bible. And then from there you can do whatever you need to do with it. I will be using the Copy Bible Verses tool, Control-Alt-B on PC, something similar on Mac, and I've got a style that I've had for a long time. Just lays out the text in the way that I want it to be for leading worship, and then I'll copy that and paste it somewhere else in a different tool that I'm using to put worship service together. And that's how I use Psalms Explorer. I do that so often. It's a really helpful tool, time saving, and really gets me to the places I need to go in order to craft a worship service.